All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down Sumitomo Rubber's latest financial results because there is a really fascinating story hiding inside these numbers. A story about a huge strategic pivot that, has some pretty big implications for tire dealers. So right out of the gate, we're hit with this paradox. Sumitomo's report shows their sales revenue is actually down a little bit for the year, but get this, at the exact same time, their profits have absolutely exploded. So what in the world is going on here? How do you sell less stuff but end up earning way, way more money? And when I say way more, I am not kidding. The profit that goes back to the owners of the company is up more than five-fold compared to this time last year. No, that is not a typo. 5 times. That is a massive, massive jump, and it signals a really fundamental change in how they do business. And that brings us to our first section here. What we're really looking at is a classic corporate turnaround, one that's being driven by a very deliberate and, as it turns out, a highly profitable new strategy. Okay, let's actually look at the numbers. For the first 9 months, sales revenue dipped by just 1.5%, barely a blip. But now, look at the profit lines. Operating profit? It more than tripled, and net profit soared by 5 times. Why? Well, it's a direct result of better margins and really tight cost control. This right here, this is the strategy in action. So the big question is, how did they pull this off? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental shift in their philosophy. They've totally changed the rules of the game they're playing, moving from a game of volume to a game of margin. And the pivot itself, it's actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. The old strategy was just about volume. Just sell more tires, move more units. The new strategy? It's about selling better tires, focusing on those premium products that come with much healthier profit margins. It's quality of sales over sheer quantity. And boom, here's what that looks like. You see that tiny little dip in the sales bar on the left? That small step back led directly to that enormous leap in the profit bar on the right. I mean, it's crystal clear confirmation that their new focus on a premium product mix is working exactly like they hoped it would. But let's be super clear. This turnaround didn't happen in a bubble. They were navigating some serious headwinds. We're talking a weak market over in China, lower volumes here in North America, and a huge hit from U.S. tariffs. Their response, though, was proactive, and it was crucial. They closed a high-cost U.S. plant and drove major savings through their Project ARC initiative. These were tough moves for sure, but they were absolutely necessary.
So all that restructuring, all that tough work, it was all to set the stage for their next big move, unleashing the full global potential of the Dunlop brand.
And they've got a clear step-by-step plan. First, they locked down the full trademark rights in key Western markets. Now they're rolling out new premium Dunlop products right here in the US and in Australia. Europe is next on the list, set to follow in early 2026. This isn't a short-term thing, this is a multi-year global push. This quote from their own report just captures the whole vision perfectly. They're not just slapping a familiar name on a tire. No, they are trying to establish Dunlop as a true global premium brand, and they're backing it up with serious investment in R&D and a laser focus on high performance. And that investment in R&D? It's absolutely critical. You can't just say you're a premium brand. You have to back it up. The foundation for any premium brand is cutting-edge technology. And Sumitomo is putting its innovations front and center. So take their active tread technology. For all you dealers watching, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this. It's the brains behind their Synchro Weather all-weather tire, the thing that gives drivers confidence in both wet and snowy conditions. They're expanding the size lineup and are even developing an enhanced version just for us, for our markets here in North America. And if you think that's cool, check out what they're working on for the future. They're developing some seriously futuristic tech they call the third switch compound. Just imagine a tire that can actively change its rubber flexibility on the fly, getting firmer when you accelerate or softer for better off-road grip. This is the kind of wild innovation that really defines a premium brand. Of course, you can have all the high-tech ideas in the world, but you need high-tech manufacturing to actually build the things. So they're backing up all that R&D with systems like Sun Titan, which is specifically designed to produce those big-diameter, high-precision tires for SUVs and trucks that are in such high demand. This makes sure the quality on the factory floor matches the innovation in the lab. Okay, we've seen the strategy, we've seen the tech, let's bring it all home. What does all of this actually mean for you, the independent tire dealer on the ground? So let's boil it all down. What are the key takeaways for your business? First, expect more premium products coming down the pipe, with Dunlop leading that charge. Second, that restructuring in North America should mean a more stable and profitable supply chain for you. Third, their focus on all-weather and all-season tires lines up perfectly with what customers in the US want right now. And finally, just remember that while things are getting better, this year is really about setting the stage. The big growth push, that's really slated for 2026.
And as a final vote of confidence in their own strategy, the company is planning to issue an annual dividend of 70 yen per share. That is the highest it has ever been. It's basically them putting their money where their mouth is. A clear signal to the market that they truly believe this pivot to premium is the right move for long-term, sustainable growth.
So we'll end with this question for you to think about. With this renewed focus, all this new investment, and a clear global strategy, is this revitalized Dunlop the new challenger brand that can make a real splash in your showroom and with your customers? The next year or so is going to be very, very interesting to watch.